Thanks, everybody. All right. So, minute checking in. I just want to celebrate the beauty of that landing process you just took us through, Kate. I'm so much more in this earth body, this place of connection and respect, and a sense of really awe and inspiration about us gathering today in the midst of everything we're holding personally and collectively. It seems like such a privilege to spend time together in this sort of emergent space where we're not really sure what's happening. We're just showing up to be a contributor to that, which is, broadly speaking, like a celebration and a mourning and a creating space to just really, pay respect to what has been the spring retreat this year for Wise Women Rising. So that's me. I'm in a place of contentment, joy to be here, and gratitude. Maybe I'll pass to you, Shez, if you'd be willing.
Oh, this is checking in. Sorry. Yeah, I had tears in my eyes with the landing. It really moved me, and I also have some grief that I'm traveling with. It was interesting to have a little cocktail of both together, and I'm really enjoying seeing all your faces and looking forward to this. What emerges in this time that we're spending together now. So yes, I will pass to Samantha.
Hi everyone. I'm enjoying seeing almost all familiar faces that I've had connection to everyone here except one during the spring retreat, and enjoying the sun's coming through, and a little bit of pain. I had quite a big fall yesterday and sitting with a lot more physical pain than I'm used to. And yeah, I'll pass to Irene.
Thank you, Samantha. I'm present to all of you and feeling kind of warm and connected. And the other thing, one thing that's quite standing out for me right at this moment is yesterday I spoke with my youngest son, and he and his family have decided to move up to Queensland. And that was, for me, pretty much out of the blue. So it's I don't feel concerned by it, but I'm surprised by it. And yeah, just a general sense of fulfillment right now. And I will pass to Anita. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. I'm grateful for being here. I deliberately thought I'm going to mow the lawn this morning so I can have some me time with you beautiful beings. And yes, got the boring stuff off the list, and yes, grateful to be here. And thank you, Kate, for that acknowledgement. I think it is so important that we do that, but also feeling connected to the earth here on which we stand is beautiful too. Thank you, everyone.
Would you be willing to pass along, Anita?
I will pass to Babette.
We can't hear you yet. Babette, we need you off mute. That's it.
I've been delighted to tune in. It was later that I tuned in, and I've listened to Kate and I've listened to Anita, who I know both of them very well from a drum circle. And at the moment, I'm feeling pulled in lots of directions. And my husband's not very well. We were expecting by now that he was be walking, but he's still on the walking frame, and it's been very, but for the rest of the time, when I can tune in like this, it's just magic. So thank you. I kind of have to pull out or cut the different strings and just stay present. Thank you. And passing on to, is it Jeanette?
Thanks, Robert. I'm feeling a lot of excitement because I've come through a moment of a bit of stress and worry. So, you know, when you come out the end of that, there's this like a punch in the air. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what will emerge. And I'm enjoying sitting in the unknown together. And I'll pass to Barbara.
I'm feeling kind of restless. I'm having trouble holding my head at an angle that feels okay for more than a second. So if I'm moving all around, it's just for that. But other than that, just slightly annoying muscular thing. It's so great to be able to be here. I was not expecting to be able to come at this time frame, but it just, things changed and I was able to come, and it's just wonderful to see all of your faces, some of whom I haven't seen before. So it's like, oh, I'm having this sense of I must have missed out on some good stuff. And I'm just holding that gently. And I shall pass to Viola.
We can't hear you yet, Viola.
Yeah, so I'm in a bit of pain today again, keeping moving around, and I'll go video. But it's lovely to see Katia here. I'll pass to you. Hello.
Thanks, Viola. Yeah, I think for me, I feel a lot of gratitude to be here. It was really lovely to be invited by Karen to come in, I guess, to this retreat. And yeah, so I've been sort of on the perimeter a bit, noticing, observing, participating a little bit, and feeling like I'm dipping my toes in. And the thing that's really come strongly through this community is like a beautiful generosity of spirit, like such a gentleness and commitment to, yeah, just for the women here to be true to your hearts and, you know, really allow your own song to be present. So I've just really enjoyed noticing that and kind of just, yeah. So thank you.
Thanks, Katia, and thank you to all of you. It's delightful to be together. I'll pass to you, Jeanette, if you would enjoy to. riffing off a conversation we've just had this morning, there was just, yeah, such richness in it. And I've invited Jeanette to share a little bit about where she's at this morning and what we discovered when we spoke together.
Yeah. Well, I have a little bit in front of me because it kind of came pouring out this morning, but I've noticed it a few weeks and through the retreat that a part of me really wants to acknowledge the unseen and the unshared ideas that we've had, that people may have in their pocket, that people may have, that they're afraid to put out into the community or to the world, or maybe we push them to the side and prioritize everything else. And yeah, what went on was all these ideas that I had, and I got so afraid that I texted Karen this morning and said, I don't feel up to it today, and have a good session. And I kind of hope she texts back. On some level, I hope she texts back and say, you know, no worries, enjoy your day. But she reached out to me, and I guess what came from that was a real acknowledgement of the whole person. And this retreat isn't just about giving in the way that is very presentable and formulated and as a workshop or a session, but it's really about the emergence of what can come through you if you allow yourself and you open your heart enough and free yourself to express what wants to come through. And I guess what came up was that, you know, the acknowledgement that we live in such a constructed world, and that what we try and bring here in this community is the deconstructed world through emergence of our needs and wants, and to really connect to the value of play and imagination, and just letting that flow and co-create something together and allow ourselves to, I guess, really be free. And because it's all coming off of it, it's coming in and coming out, but what I really trying to acknowledge is that for me personally, and I guess for other people too, is we live in a world where there's evaluation, there's the finished product that has to be polished, there's a level of perfection and the comparison with other people. But really what this community is showing up as a full person, and that is showing up with the fear in one hand and with the excitement in the other. And maybe it's showing up without the pre-made thing, and that's accepted as well, because that's what's precious in this group, is the play and the unknown and the being in the unknown together. And yeah, I guess I never really would have acknowledged that grief and came and shared that grief if Karen didn't come with the support and say, that's part of this retreat too. You know, the other side of it, the other side of hiding your idea, or the other side of thinking it's not good enough, or it's not ready, it's not fully formulated, but it's all welcome at the table. And yeah, I just felt like that was something I wanted to share, because I feel like maybe other people might have parts of them that hasn't fully shown up or hasn't been seen or heard to themselves or to anybody, and that's important to hold.
Thank you. I was in the conversation, I'm remembering sharing with you like my memories of school, how we had like the formal learning classroom and we had to sit at the benches and listen to the expert at the front of the room. But it was at recess that we did all of our social learning, and the who shoved who over and the who's not playing with who. And there was like one teacher on duty, and there was just like emergent space, like, and that I have the strongest memories and the most, you know, significant learnings I remember from my school years weren't the ones sitting in the classroom with the expert at the front. You know, they were the ones where we got to show up and make mistakes and test our limits and be honest in the what is it to play together. And so yeah, it really moved me to be able to be a companion this morning, and empathy for the parts that weren't good enough, didn't want to show up, just were judgmental and a bit cruel, because that's part of how we've been conditioned to quiet the parts that may not feel safe. So yeah, really thank you for bringing your beautiful honesty to Circle, Jeanette. And there's something in me that wants to maybe do a little breakout and go, how was it for you? How was that holding of both the, you know, the courage and the sort of like, oh, and also the, you know, what it may have been like to share something or not share something, or like how it was for you to maybe try to show up as many as you know, the times you could, and that you couldn't show up as much as you might have liked, or like holding those parts of yourself, the whole self, as you've said, Jeanette. But I might pass to you, Shez, and set up the breakouts, and yeah, ask if you'd be willing to contribute. Hang on, we can't hear you. And I just want to check if you'd be willing to check with everyone that there's a yes consent about breakout.
Well, maybe we could do that first. Is there anybody who would not like to go to a breakout room? Great, we look forward to that. So I have a list of all of the events that happened in the retreat, and I'm going to read them, and you can see what comes to mind as you hear them. So the opening circle was on Friday the 10th of September, and then on the Tuesday and Thursday of the first week there was 2 sessions of morning moments of the surf practice. There was the flow game on Saturday afternoon, open space on Sunday afternoon, poetry writing, the first session of 2 on Monday night, Story-Wise Women on Tuesday night, sacred economics on Thursday morning, breathing in unity, I believe that was, I'm not sure, I've lost track of my days now. Another workshop called Breath, morning moments, poetry writing session number 2, clay play, morning moments, innate wisdom, circle-wise, and here we are at the closing circle. I do have, it's not there. How did that happen? Playing with big money, super fun. Thank you, Irene. I was, yeah. I don't know how that disappeared. It was in the list, I promise. So yes, that's been our set of sessions, events. And so are you ready with the breakouts, Karen?
I've put us into groups of 3 and 4.
Okay.
I just wanted to name that Story-Wise Women is its own entity. I put it in the calendar because I wanted to encourage women to come to Story-Wise Women. But that's something that is Kate Lawrence's beautiful creation, and something that Shez actually was one of the hosts with Karen Garton at the Story-Wise Women this month. But that was a first, that other people step in to help Kate host Story-Wise Women. So in a sense, it was perfect timing because it was in the container of exploration and new experiences. of learning. So yeah, it was a perfect fit. Yeah, and I'm guessing that it would be helpful to have a guiding question for this breakout. And I'm just going to sit for a minute to sort of explore a breakout question. And I'd be very grateful if anyone wants to put in the chat what you think might be a good lead question for breakouts right now. Like, given what you've heard already, we're breaking out to what?
I guess what's here for me is, am I muted? No.
No, go for it.
Yeah, what was it like for you to present or attend? And yeah, what are you taking away? Like, what really stood out to you in either of those experiences? Yeah.
And I like, thank you, Samantha, that contribution about what would you like? What do you take? Yeah, I suppose that's the same question. What are you taking away? Like, what would you like it to, how would you like it to inform you for next time? It's almost like we could do a second circle about that in terms of harvesting. I'm thinking this one is more, yeah, what was your experience like? There's that contribution from Samantha about what did you enjoy the most, that too could come in, or what was the most challenging, could be either or both. You know, what did you enjoy the most? What was challenging? Thank you, Shez. What are you taking away? How was your experience as an attendee or presenter? So I think we'll just land with that piece. How was it? How was your experience as a presenter or attendee? That's what we're sharing. Does that work? So if I nominate that one? Okay.
I like Kate's offering there, hero, hardship, and highlight. I'm keen to hear a little bit. I mean, I can guess what that is.
I'd like to hear more too.
Yeah. Can you say some more? Brilliant.
I can. So it's from the Richmond Football Club. So if anyone, has footies, and I think it's just, I've done it once, and it's really just each person has, whatever time frame we've got per person to think about, heroes, like, so who have they admired in their experience of the retreat. And I assume why, then a highlight, and then a hardship, like some struggle or something that was hard. And you do that. Each person does all three in one go, and you just go around. It's not complex really, but it kind of gives you a little bit more framework than what was your experience. That's all.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, thank you so much. That's great. So has everyone got a
time frame?
Yeah, I just want to give everyone a chance to write that down so that they've got it with them when we go into breakouts. And time frame
is 5 minutes
each.
When you've done it before, Kate, is it 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
I can't remember, but I think you just, each person has to talk to whatever time you give them.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. I think it would be.
So if we're going in groups.
Oops, I think you muted a bit quick. If we're going into group, it would be good to have a time container.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If we did 15 minutes
for the total.
Yeah, in total, that would mean the groups of 3 have 5 minutes each, and the groups of 4 have 3 minutes each.
Or we could do 3 groups of 3 and 1 of 2. Sorry, you've already set it up.
Oh, I have already set it up. So let's try it, see what happens. If you want more, can you message into the chat back to me, like find me in the list and message me that you would like more time in your group, so that I'm getting a sense of it about the 15-minute mark.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll hit go and I will see you all in breakouts. I'll just pause the recording. Can someone help remind me to
and track time for maybe somebody in the group track
in
time.
each group. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Aha. So we did a breakout. We talked through the heroes, the hardships, and the highlights of like the retreat so far. And we've just come to agreement that we're going to have some quiet time, like I'm going to put on a song and we're going to have some reflection time to drop in, take care of ourselves, get a drink of water, whatever we need, and reflect on what we might like to bring back to the circle, to create now, to co-create something now. And maybe there'll be some ideas and some people won't have ideas, but let's just see what comes back after.
So something you might like to offer, or an idea that you have, or maybe something you'd like to ask for.
Yeah, it could be a request around something that feels alive for you to ask for. So just setting up the music and inviting you to do that now.
You don't have to know the way knows the way.
Looks like Cherie's
You
job.
don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way,
I'm just going to give everyone another minute or so to finish up with whatever notes or ideas. And I'd like to ask for a volunteer, someone who'd be willing to just keep a track of what gets offered in the chat. Could be just a willingness to just keep creating like a side list for us. Thank you, Kate, in the chat. So we'll just grab like what gets offered, and then it might shift around and reorder or whatever, depending on what gets offered. So we might just do popcorn style, which is we're not passing, and not everybody feels any pressure to have to contribute, but it's an invitation to just see what's here. And I'd certainly value hearing all voices, but it's just up to you whether you would like to. So maybe what's here, I'll get started and just name what's here for me. I'm enjoying the sunshine out my window, and I was thinking about doing the presencing dyad that Samantha has offered in the past. So that came up for me as a request to do like just a 5-minute presencing dyad was one of the things that came up for me. And the other thing that came up for me was that I have like not admin, but like the fact that notes about the fact that the retreat's not really finishing. Like there's a couple of more sessions coming up this week for poetry, and so there's a bit of like little bit of admin stuff. Like I'd like to speak to what's next, in a sense, like what do we do from here. So maybe that's towards the end of our time together. It's like a little bit of a what's next conversation. So yeah, that was me. I'll put the piece back in the middle. I've got my little Buddha. I'll just put my piece in the middle, and whoever would like can pick up.
I'd be happy to take everyone through a dyad process. I was thinking of offering something very short. It's called a self-havening technique and butterfly hug, just as reminders what we can do to soothe the nervous system and calm down in any situation of distress or trauma. And it's just a few minutes. I'll pass the, where's my finger? There's my finger.
We're actually doing popcorn style.
Oh no, but I mean I'm putting it into the middle.
Oh,
My piece of popcorn.
I just had a question. Is it what we want for this next little bit of time, or what we want next as a whatever follows on from the retreat?
I think that's the conversation I'd like to bring, and I'd probably like to put 15 minutes or something aside to have that what's next after the retreat conversation, like 15-20 minutes. So maybe we should be putting times, allocating times to our proposals as well. So we're here until 3:30, so we have an hour and 20 left. And so if we can give 20 minutes to the what's next conversation, then I would love that, what you've proposed, Samantha, both the yes to the presencing dyad and the introduction to the havening and butterfly process. that feels very alive. So, and I'm just wondering whether we just say a yes to that next and then see what bubbles up as a next offer when we've completed that. How would that be for everyone else? Yeah. All right. Are you up for doing that first off the block, Samantha?
Yes. Yep. So just time wise, how much of a chunk of time? Because the dyad could be, I mean, it needs, I'd say, at least 5 minutes per person. So a 10-minute dyad plus the other techniques would take up maybe another, all in all, probably 15 minutes.
So let's intend that we have from now until 2:30, and then if we finish a bit earlier than that, we finish a bit earlier than that. But we have the space from now until 2:30.
All right. Oh. Okay.
Yes, we have a question. Hang on, Katia.
Sorry to interrupt process. I just wanted to do a time check because my understanding was that this would run till 3 o'clock. So I wasn't really able to stay beyond that. But that's, you know, if you don't mind, I probably will leave at 3.
No, that's fine. And if we all complete at 3, we complete at 3. Like that's really great. I think I put in my diary till 3:30, and maybe I'm seeing some yes, I need to leave at 3 as well. So thank you for bringing that. That means we have about 45 minutes, and like what we've already nominated seems like will be enough for the time that we have left. So that's great. It's just,
yeah, I'm just keen to hear if anyone's thirsting to share something, because I wouldn't want to you know, stand in the way.
you'd like to hold care for anyone else and their ideas too bubbling up. I hear that, Samantha.
Yes.
And it just feels, yeah, what I'd like to do is ask people to type into the chat if they had an idea they haven't voiced yet and they'd like it to end up in the chat for conversation after we finished here. That would be brilliant.
Trying to get,
so that we can get started with what you're bringing, Samantha, and then also allow space for other things to bubble.
all right. So thanks, Karen. So this is something that just sort of flashed in front of me. I do support work, NDIS support work, and a client's psychologist had emailed it to her, and it just keeps so probably most of you have heard of it, but I hadn't heard this term self-havening. So this is called Simplified Self-Havening, and it's just I'll mute myself, and then it's just humming to yourself as you stroke down your arms, and just doing that for we'll just do maybe a minute or so, and then rub your palms together. So yeah, I'll just mute myself and we'll do that humming while stroking the arms, and then finish off with rubbing the palms together when I unmute.
Samantha, there was a question.
Everyone clear?
There's a question from Shez.
Yes, Shez.
You're not on, yeah.
So we're starting with this and humming.
Yes.
And then we rub our hands together. And is there anything after that, or is that it?
No, then I'll tell you the butterfly technique after that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 minute. And rub your hands together and breathe deep. Take a couple of deep breaths. It's nice to touch myself with my hands, which are normally cold, but if they've been warmed, feels nice. I actually found myself I'm starting to cry with that movement and humming to myself. Yeah, I don't know, did anyone else have that experience? Yeah, very powerful. I'm gonna start crying. The other one is the soothing butterfly hug, which is just having your hands over your heart area. You can try with different areas. You might take them out further or bring them in or a little bit further down, and just alternating hands. Again, I suppose one could hum with this, or just deep breathing. It's up to you. And we'll do that for a minute. I think in some ways, Anita, you helped me to presence this idea of, just different ways of touching the body, which you shared in your wisdom of the body session, and how it just reminded me how powerful it can be to just do simple touch, combinations of touch. So thank you. Would anyone like to just maybe one or two people, just a comment if you'd like to share anything? I'm curious if people use these anyway in their lives. Is there anyone who does use them often?
Similar, not exactly the same, but yeah. There's a Peter Levine. I don't know if you want any more information, maybe you don't.
Peter Levine.
That putting one hand under the armpit and holding to create a container for ourselves, so it helps our nervous system come back online. Yeah, just one hand under the armpit and the other one holding the other arm, so that
right.
Yeah, there's a sense of pressure and container in each place, so you're literally held. Bit like a mother would with a child, just hold them. However, what I really enjoyed about what you brought was the stroking and the humming. I sing as well, but now I've got them put together, so I've got like a third and a fourth, a second. I'm just really enjoying how I've got more now to use and to try. And this is gentle, and it's quite a different movement, and the humming, the resonance of the voice is really soothing to me, which is why I sing sometimes. Thank you. Simple and powerful.
Babette, yes. Thank you, Shaze. Thank you.
what was your first, very first one? It's more a hug. Is it more a hug one?
Yeah, he
And more
calls it
hugs.
self-havening.
Okay, I like that. I just want, my feedback to you was, of course, I love anything with sound, but I found I'm recovering from an ankle surgery, and those arms went right down the legs, almost to the ankles. So that was lovely. Thank you. And that's something I wouldn't do normally. So that was nice.
You extended the movement
Yes,
right
I
down.
extended. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Without thinking about it, just going, oh, your ankle needs that. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm.
Viola, yes, and then we'll go on to the dyad.
I want to keep Kate included, and
Kate,
because
yes.
I saw her hand up, and I have something as well. If
All
you're
right, well, if this is alive, let's stick with this.
Yeah.
Viola, yes.
Yeah, I found that really powerful. And what was most powerful was the humming, which activated the belly. And, you know, in Reiki, we call that the hara, that earth center. And I just felt an enormous amount of warmth and energy rising up through that combination of the belly breathing, the movement through the centers with voice, and the touch. So that's such a lovely, easy one, and you know, yeah. I'll put that in my repertoire. Thank you.
Great. Maybe I can. Well, I can find resources for resilience. It comes from Resources for Resilience. So I'm sure the handouts are on there.
Could you post the link for that in the chat before we leave today? Or is there just Resources for Resilience? Is that enough?
Oh, okay. Hang on. There is a link written at the bottom of the page. I will. Yes.
Thank you. Just before we finish. And Kate, did you want to contribute?
Mine was just very quick. I was just going to, because I like playing with words, and I know that some of you do too. It was a hummy hug for me.
A hummy hug, yeah.
A hummy hug. I love that. Hummy hug. Thank you. Gorgeous.
That's nice.
And a hummy honey hug. That is what I'll call it. Hummy honey hug. Yes.
Love that. Love that. And for me, the extra thing was that when I learned havening just recently, actually, was I go all the way down the arms and I haven the hands. And if you just try it now, it's like something very. My nervous system goes havening the hands, and I haven my forehead, because often my forehead is where I go and my forehead gets all creasy, and so havening the forehead and the face, like I get big sighs from just that sort of stroking feeling and being able to stroke my own forehead. My mum used to stroke my forehead when I was sick, when I was a little kid, so I have this like sense memory too of being stroked with my forehead. So just want to add those in, because it's like, oh gosh, there's such a sensation of like nervous system recognizing care. So really appreciate
Thank you. Thank you for adding that.
It's lovely watching everybody do it together, like on a screen. There's something about that that's actually quite impactful.
So we've got 5 minutes. Are we going to do the dyad process? Do we want to? Yeah.
I was going to suggest let's just do 3 minutes each of this presencing, but you set it up you explain it while I do.
You set up the breakouts. Do we have an even? No, we don't. So leave me out, Karen. I'll just do it.
Well, could you be witness if I create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yes,
pages?
yes.
I'll be witness in one.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
So it's a dyad process from Zen coaching, and the speaker, well, the listener will ask the question, what is happening in your body right now? Maybe if someone can pop that in the chat, what is happening in your body right now? Or thanks, Kate. Or what is alive in you right now? Without saying the person's name, so just that question on its own, and the speaker will just share whatever's happening. If they want to, they're focusing on the body, asking for the body question, then it will just be purely body sensations. If they want to expand, and maybe for now, it's just 3 minutes. Let's stick with the body. What's happening in your body right now? And just keep coming back to the body and sharing out loud what's happening in the body. And you might start getting distracted, and then the listener will ask again, what's happening in your body right now? So that question may be repeated a number of times in the 3 minutes. And you'll just keep answering as the speaker, or you can remain silent if you just if that's what feels right for you as well. But the questioner can keep asking the question even if you're remaining silent.
Can I offer it like we do a 30-second, 1 minute quick demo, Samantha?
Yep. Do you want to ask me?
Yeah. What's happening in your body right now?
I'm noticing I want to rotate my shoulders. There's it's sense of wanting movement, and yeah.
What's happening in your body right now?
And now I'm feeling my neck is wanting to almost want to say explore the space, almost like a tortoise. And I'm just feeling myself settling down into my belly, like a feeling of heaviness. Okay, any questions?
I think we're great.
All right, good to go.
All right, let's give it a try. And
I think we've got an even number now.
We do, yes. Yes, Anita's exited. I'm wondering if she's coming back in. So I will remain here in the main room for Anita if she's just dropped out and is coming back in. I had her in a group of 3 with you as a witness.
Okay, great.
So it looks like there's even group now.
And if the listener could track time.
Yes.
We're doing 3 minutes per person.
3 minutes each. All right. Okay, have we got a timer with us? Let's give it a go.
Remember just the question without the person's name.
All right, let's do it. See you back.
So I'm happy to share. Is this a reflection on the process we just?
Yes, just any reflection, short reflection.
So I found that process really lovely. I noticed that my body really wanted to be seen, like witnessed. So what was happening in my body wanted that to be witnessed and responded to that. And it was really comforting. So I feel quite different now to what I did before. So some of the tension I had in my neck has actually disappeared. So yeah, so just, yeah, I just really value that process. It was lovely. I'm going to have to remember to use it.
And I'd love to, anyone who wants to contact me and do that one-on-one anytime, I'm very open to doing that. Anytime, any length of time. Anyone, one other person? Thanks, Katya. I'm really pleased to hear that.
Thanks, Samantha.
All right. Well, if there's no one else, I'll pass back to you, Karen. Oh, I just want to say that I found it absolutely blissful. I was so surprised. I had so much sensation of bliss in my body, which I thought was all, in pain and that. So that was really a surprise. Thank you.
Yeah, I love hearing that. That's like two resonant experiences of the pain dropping out as a consequence of being in that loving self-witnessing and being presenced by someone else. So just loving how powerful that practice is, Samantha, and that's why I was like, that's what feels like alive for me. I'd really love to. So I'm really grateful that you were willing to bring it. And so I thought what we'd do, given we've got about 18 minutes left, I'd love to hear like a brief circle at the end of everyone's voices of like sort of a farewell to the retreat. So I'd love to hear everyone have a chance to do that. So what I'd like to do is just speak for 5 minutes maybe about the what's next, and for you to raise any questions or comments about the what's next that's alive for you. So if you've got any, shares.
Oh, do you mean give 5 minutes of time to what's next, not each person 5 minutes, because that's going to be 55 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 to 8 minutes. Like I'd love to leave at least 10 minutes for us to all have our voices heard as we check out.
Oh, okay.
So
is it possible to put the what we'd like next in the checkout, or farewell? You'd like them separately?
I'd like them a little bit separate, a little bit of container for the what's next after the retreat. Okay. As a bit of a conversation. I think it will be an ongoing conversation, but I'd just like to name a couple of things that are here for me around it, and then ask anyone to add extra thoughts to it.
Yeah.
So first, in terms of the...
You go.
Well, no, you're right.
Well, I guess the question is, who of us here has something that they would like to say about the what's next? Is that where you were going, the what's next?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was going to just kick that off and then invite questions, comments, anything else that's alive here about the what's next. For me, in terms of the what's next, I'm actually really inspired that something of the community fabric has been strengthened by this retreat that wasn't present before. I don't have words for it yet, but something new has emerged out of this retreat that didn't happen last time. And I think it's because what we did last time was we just did back-to-back 3 sessions a day over 10 days, and we just powered through it last year, and we were like, oh my God, at the end of it, we all just sort of, and this year it's like, there's been much more, there's been spaces in between, there's been some emergent ones that have risen and fallen, some that like I thought co-working might happen during the retreat and it didn't really take off, but I didn't even really promote it or, invite people to come co-work with me at any time. So I didn't put a registration page up. Like there were ideas around that didn't quite fly, but there were also like lots of things that did get started that actually want to keep going. So I want to name the conversation that was started in the open space about how do we have difficult conversations or community conversations where we actually tackle difference of perspective and hold that all in a circle space. So that conversation is going to continue and is inviting you know, anyone who would like to join that conversation. That's an open, ongoing conversation. So we will hold space for your contributions in that. The second thing that's still going is the poetry, which is tomorrow night. There's a part 2 of the poetry workshop that happened, and Shez, you maybe want to say more about that, or if that's not an open event, just let me know.
No, it is, and it's not part 2. It's session 1, and then there will be a follow-up session. So
oh right, so there's
the poetry writing was a set of 2 sessions.
Right, so there's another part 1 on Monday night coming.
Yeah.
So if you would like to be involved in
at
the poetry
7
writing,
till 8:30.
Okay, and there's a registration for
It's
that
still
on
on the page. Yeah.
Yeah, so please feel welcome to jump into that. I want to speak to the clay play. There's a part 2 of a clay play that's happening on Wednesday with Natalie. And if you don't have clay, but you feel like coming along to draw or be in an art space and just come and relax into the clay play space, please feel welcome. That's open invitation on Wednesday. And I'll check if that's it's Wednesday at, can someone check for me? Shez, would you be willing to check for me if you've got that open, what time that is? And I'm also aware that a couple of people actually had sessions that they were intending to bring to this retreat, or that they might like to have brought to this retreat, that haven't had a space to be brought yet. And I'm one of those. And I know that there's a couple others in the room here that had an idea that they might have brought to the retreat but haven't yet. So I'm wanting to name that I think there's going to be more of an open, emergent, sort of ongoing, like sprinkling of things that are going to continue to be offered. And that between now and December, that we've got like a spring retreat that continues really into like towards December, so that if there's more offerings or part 2 that you want to bring, or a second version of what you've already tried and you want to try it again and bring it again, like I think that's more than possible, and we just supporting that to happen. The sense I have is that we have a new fabric of the community. That's what I was naming. And I also want to say a special thank you to those of you who've contributed the $40 as a contribution to community upkeep, keeping the boat floating. Very, very grateful for that. And thanks, Shez. So clay plays 11 till 12 on Wednesday. And yeah, if you're willing and you haven't, and you would be willing to, and you think that's an investment in this community continuing to be able to support these events and similar things, that please do feel welcome to contribute. It's a very unofficial membership. Like we're really just, we don't even have a formal structure as yet as an organisation, where we're really just volunteers all showing up to do this. So we really value having, the bank account is taken care of by Irene and Shez and myself as a joint venture. So that you know that the money's being held in trust for the community wellbeing, to serve the costs of running the retreat and other things. Yes, Anita.
Where can we find the bank details? I saw emails about that, but I couldn't find the details to contribute.
Oh, that's very kind of you to ask. I can copy and paste that now as we're doing checkouts. I'll put it into the chat, and thank you for asking. So I think that's it. So we've got 10 minutes now to do a checkout round. Was there any more about the what's next that you'd like me to know for right now, or you're welcome to email me and continue the conversation with the what's next? I'd be very happy to hear. Shez.
I would plan to do some more morning moments, and want to invite other people to do them too. So that's
please.
I see being ongoing.
I was actually going to ask you on Friday, even though you hadn't got one scheduled, but I slept through. I was going to message you at 7:45. Can we do a morning moment at 8? And I slept all the way till 8:45 or something, so it didn't happen. But yeah, I'm excited to hear that, and I love the idea of morning moments continuing. So would you be willing, Shez, to create a morning moments registration page for yours? And I would encourage anyone else who would like to just try a morning moment, like would you do a quick explanation of what you understand is a morning moment, Shez, and then we'll invite anyone who would like to add one to the schedule.
Well, the one that I do is that I have been doing, I might do something else, is a guided, body focused meditation or practice that creates alignment, and it's anything that would support people in beginning their day. So it's pretty broad, really. But like even the dyad practice. And I want to evolve what I've been doing as well. So I've got other ideas. I did one thing, and then on the last one, it grew, evolved into something a little extra. So but it's something that is grounding, centering, nurturing.
Half an hour in length-ish.
Yeah.
A half an hour at 8 o'clock. We've been doing 8 o'clock for the people who want to start their day before work that way. But you don't have to make it 8 o'clock. It can be whatever time of the day works for you to offer it.
Yeah.
And it's a half an hour-ish.
Yeah.
So you decide if you want to make it a bit longer or shorter.
It could be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, could be 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It's really what's calling you.
But they're brief, like they're a moment.
Or 11.
Half an hour or less, probably, not going to a full hour. Otherwise, you create a workshop space. It's not a morning moment. It's something else. But we're open to it, just to be in the experiment. And I'd love that, Samantha, if you were willing to do morning moment presencing. That maybe would be a lovely way for us to all jump in and keep practicing that. What you brought today, Viola.
And how do we let people know? Does it have to go on? Well, it can't go on the retreat page.
It can. Well, yeah. I think we can continue to use that event portal on the website. Like, we're paying for it as a monthly rolling thing. So while we're still using it, I'm happy to keep paying for it. As and it's not expensive for us to hit the plus button and add in some details and a photo, and if we want to. And the other option is, I will include the couple of people who've joined us more recently. I will add you to the messenger thread, because there's a messenger group as well. And if you do not want to go through the whole rigmarole of putting up an event on the website for people to register, well, you just won't know who's registered for your morning moment or your event. So you can put a notice in the messenger thread to everybody, hey, I'm going to do something at 8:30 in the morning. But you won't know who's registered or if anyone's going to come. That's the downside. Gotcha. Thanks, Viola.
Unless people private message you and say, yes, I'm coming.
You could PM back. You could ask for that. You could say, PM me if you're going to come. That's a good strategy. That's easy. All right. Well, let's do a checkout round. We've got 7 minutes or so. Look at it. Go, Kate.
I wanted to add into what's next, because I was really enjoying the whole sense of, I know that Cara, it was Kate and yourself and Barbara did that wonderful process with wise women, and just that whole, it's like, I know you guys are kind of doing it, but I really want to, I don't know how to do it, but my need is to somehow be involved at that level that you guys are, rather than participate in what you're doing, actually be a part of it. And I don't know how to, there's some things that are bubbling, but I haven't got words for them. And I don't know how to make them come alive. And it's like this collaboration or something. Does that make, I'm not making any sense, I know, because it doesn't have a whole lot of words at the moment, and this is the problem.
You wanting some support and collaboration around the ideas that you have?
Yes, and I'm thinking possibly there may be some others who may want to join in and dovetail, like Karen and Barbara and Kate, and to do that kind of collaborative work around it. However, it's still a forming idea.
What
So,
about
yes.
putting in the messenger thread the ideas that you're, the bubble of ideas, and see who resonates with wanting to collaborate on that?
Yeah, I also hear that as a request to Barbara and Kate and myself to also hear that request and process that as a part of, like, can we just open up the collaboration space that we're already creating?
Yeah.
So just to allow the bubbling of that. Thank you for bringing it to the space.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Barbara nod. I'm feeling grateful about that. Speaking for you. Well, yeah, not speaking for you, actually, just riffing off the possibilities. Yeah.
Because
So,
it's almost like whatever you formed, I don't know how you formed it, whether it's because of your friendship or because of something that happened here, but I'm wanting to foster ground for those things to come up and flourish.
yeah.
Because I feel like there's so many conversations that could link into creating little pockets of things growing your theme, which was about calling power home.
Calling our power home. Thank you. Yeah, calling our power home out of the systems that aren't life-serving.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel like it's so needed at this time, and I want to be involved, but I don't know how to. It's like the skippy rope's going and I can't get in. and how do we create ground conversations so that a few of us can start skipping together, others start skipping over here, and then eventually something starts to, my friend calls it the mycelium underneath the earth, starts all connecting and we start coming up from underneath. Yeah. And I just, that's what I feel really passionate about. And I don't know how to create it by myself. Please, I need some help.
Kate, thank you for the images there. They were beautiful.
Yeah, really. And
the mycelium.
Mycelium, but definitely. Irene, do you want to start the checkout round? I
will. What I haven't said is that I really want to do another superannuation conversation. So that's what I'd like to put out there and see what we can create. And I guess we'll have conversations on Monday at the normal Mondays, Wise Women Rising meetings, an opportunity to have the conversation there.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That was on my notes. The Our Time to Shine group, I'm really at the point of wanting to invite our new members, and I've actually spoken to one lovely lady who's here, and maybe there's others who would like to join the Our Time to Shine. So I want to share a little bit more of an invitation about that. I'll do that because we meet on Monday nights at the moment at 5:15 for an hour and a half. But I can explain that a bit more, and that's people wanting to work together, holding space for each other to create workshops, and we're traveling together in an emergent program. So that's something else I can bring to the What's Next. I'll add that to a next email or something. Babette? Thanks, Irene.
But I just didn't sort of complete for today. Yep. Thank you. Really enjoyed the time together with you all, and found it valuable. Look forward to catching up with you all along the way. Thank you.
Thanks, Irene. Maybe pass Babette next, and then but we need you to unmute because I can see that you're still muted there. Hang on, can't hear you yet. There you go.
Can you hear? Thank you. My question is, beyond restrictions, I don't know where people live. Is there any chance of people getting together beyond restrictions?
Yes, I wanted to say a wild yes to that. We had a picnic in
and where do people live?
Yeah. So we'll follow that up because we had a picnic at Kew Boathouse in January in the sunshine, and that was fantastic. And yes, we'll definitely want to do some in-persons once we can get out of lockdown.
That'll be lovely. Thank you. And thank you.
Welcome. Like Melbourne based at the minute, but my hope is as we expand the network and that more people can get in little pockets, like there's some friends in other places too that we want to help include. So we want to stay online for those connections, but we also want to be able to get together in person. Would you pass along, Babette, to someone next?
And I just, there was somebody or somebody's that wanted to leave at 3. Was that you, Katya? Would you like to go next?
Yeah, that's a great idea, Shez. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I'm happy. I'll stay till the end because we're winding up now, but thank you. I mean, it won't go for much longer, so that will work okay for me. So I just want to say a really big heartfelt thank you for this opportunity. It's actually really lovely. It's really been really special, and for me, community is the most important thing, and connection. And I feel like I've gained new connections and, you know, a level of new community through coming and participating in the way that I have, even though it's been on the perimeter, but still has been really valuable for me. So thank you.
I'll go next and I'll say goodbye and thank you very much. This time has made me more aware of the richness and depth of this group, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, Viola.
Bye, Viola.
Viola. Maybe I'll nominate to Barbara.
Thank you, because I wanted to share, Katya, that at the retreat this time last year, I felt completely on the perimeter. And then a year later, I feel like, whoa, I'm like right in it. So yeah, that's my experience. So thanks. And did you want me to pass to someone particular? Just anybody?
I'm thinking Jeanette hasn't spoken for a little while. Jeanette?
Perfect.
Thank you. I guess what I wanted to share is that I'm working on I'm slightly working, but working towards a workshop in October sometime. And it's about celebrating culture and the gifts of our culture. And I wanted to tune in to invite people from home, from Ireland, and I have friends all over the world that I'd love to connect with, and I know who would love to connect as a collective and to presence culture.
That's great.
What am I feeling? I'm feeling a gratitude to have shown up, and a deep gratitude to Karen for that care, but to show up as you are, because that was the question that we ended the call with. Can I show up as I am today? Yes, you know, the whole person, whatever that means. And that's really powerful, and we don't get that all the time in different settings with different relationships. You know, it's something that we intentionally cultivate here, and yeah, it's really precious. So sending everyone lots of love and myself love, and thanking you all. And I'm going to pass to Samantha.
I'm just aware that Kate had a question that I don't think has been fully answered. I might be wrong. And I'm wondering, Kate, if you are coming to the meeting on Monday, maybe that's something we can talk about on Monday.
About developing the skippy rope things.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful to develop it up with you all, with all of your thoughts and expertise, because I think we've got some really good soil, and we could put a lot of fertilizer in it and get some things growing, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Great. And yeah, for myself, I resonate with what you said, Barbara. I very much felt on the outskirts, going like that with the rope last retreat. And yeah, thanks to everyone's support and just love and care and acceptance. I feel very sort of enmeshed in a good way in the community, and yeah, I look forward to having more of the new people feel that sense of belonging and community. So yeah, thank you, and I will pass to who hasn't spoken yet.
I think that's everyone. Okay,
Oh.
you want to come back to you because it wasn't a checkout.
Okay, Kate.
Yeah, Kate.
No, I was talking about the what next, and that was my need or my request. I think I spoke it when I said it's been like an oasis in the desert, this group, because it's hasn't been sort of it's been like it's the world beyond what we've got right now, and it's what we're evolving and what we're emerging from and emerging in ourselves, and it's really precious. And this is where I want to put my energies, is to developing learning how to come into the skipping and learning how to skip with 3 or 4 or 5 of us, and then having a great big skip all together. I don't know, something feels really possible, and that's where I want to come in. And I'd like next year to be able to do what Barbara and Samantha said and feel like I'm not on the outside trying to get in. Yeah. So, and hopefully I can learn more of the different roles and play the parts. And thank you to Karen and Shez and Samantha for sort of holding it so clearly and modelling it. It's been absolutely wonderful. So and I had to go a couple of times, but I'd like I'll have more of a go, so that it becomes clear in the sense of what we're doing. It's familiar, but I'd like to make it more able to do it in what we're doing, in the way that we're doing it, because that's really precious. And it's not new, but it needs to be done in a way that works for what we're growing together. Yeah, so much to learn, and hopefully I've got some things to offer. And thank you to each of you. Just loved it all. It was whatever I could get to was really, really rewarding. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you for your workshop. It made such a difference and made a big contribution to me. I'm loving seeing this. Can we all do this as our farewell?
See, I've got the chat in the way.
Oh, I think I can.
Babette, have you seen the chat? You muted. Okay, I just wanted to check that you saw. Okay, great.
You can't hear you, Babette.
How's that one?
Unmute, girl.
It's funny because I don't stop talking to the students, and it's just lovely not to be muted. Thank you. I've seen that. It's beautiful. Thank you.
How did you do that, Barbara?
Yes, how did you?
What did you do?
I can't do it.
Oh my God! No, who can touch their nose with their tongue?
Nah. Can you turn it over? I can't do that either. Anyway, I think it's
we're officially closed, and we can stay and play and have a cup of tea.
No, I haven't checked out, and you haven't either.
Shez, to you.
Have you checked out?
Yeah, I think I kicked it off. I think.
Sorry, Shez, I should have passed to you. Sorry.
Okay, let me check out. Yeah, me too full. Me can't think. Me very happy. Me got giggles. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the joy rebellion, my friends.
Delight. I am in delight. Yeah.
Lots of love. Yay! Thank you. I'm not going to do a hard end.
Let's everybody take your mic, unmute, and say bye-bye together.
Yeah, and if you're dropping out now, we love you and see you soon. And if not, stay on for a quick cuppa.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Love.
See ya.
Bye.
Stay for a cuppa. I
Au
wish.
revoir.
I'm gonna stay for a cuppa.
Yeah, I'm going to reheat mine and just stay for a debrief, whoever wants to.
Oh, we're going to turn the recording off.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
recording.
Bye.
Whoever is going, who's going, bye.
Bye.